This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470, with more of what you need to know. Get informed on your life with Boca Soul, featuring Calypso, every Sunday at 1 p.m. on AM 1470, WNN.
Recently, after a heavy rain, I discovered water stains on my ceiling. I picked up the phone and I called my old friend Lanny Galfand at Pioneer Roofing. I've known Lanny since I first came to South Florida back in 1983. In fact, he was one of the founding sponsors of the Steve Kane Show. Pioneer Roofing came out to my home, they inspected the roof, and to my great relief, Lanny told me I didn't need a new roof, just a simple repair. Whether it's a new roof, a simple repair, whether it's residential or commercial, you want the best, and the best is Lanny Gelfand and Andrew at Pioneer Roofing. Pioneer Roofing, your friends in high places and a charter sponsor of the Steve Kane Show, serving Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. Call 954-920-7688. That's 954-920-7688, and tell them Steve Kane sent you.
John Linder here. I've been talking to you about getting healthy for months now, and if you haven't found your path to better health yet, now is the time to do it, and I am going to help you. Call my friends at One Health and Wellness right now at 954-491-4949. Mention the word healthy, and they'll schedule you for a free health consultation right at their state-of-the-art wellness center. That's right, a free health consultation. So take advantage of it and jump on the opportunity while you can by calling One Health and Wellness right now at 954-491-4949. That's 954-491-4949. Schedule your free consultation or go to their website, www.onenewdirection.com, and take one new direction in your health.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470, WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Shub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Shub, and tonight, like we do always at this time, we'll be talking a little bit of golf. We'll be talking a whole lot of travel tonight, and we've got a great show in store for you. In just a few minutes, we're going to be chatting with a few of our guests. First up in a little bit, we're going to be talking to Larry LaValle, and he is the head chef at 3800 Ocean, which is a wonderful restaurant at the Singer Island Marriott, and they're doing a great event that's going to be featuring white truffles and some wine pairings, and we'll find out about that and some other stuff that's going on for the holidays as well. Then we will be talking to world traveler, philanthropist Yvonne Boyce. She's an expert on many regions of the world, been on dozens and dozens of cruises, on safari in South Africa, extensively throughout Europe, Asia, you name it. She's been there, and we're going to find out some of her favorite places to go to, get some tips from her as well. And then a little bit later in the show, we will be hearing from Angelique Peterson, and she is the Director of Sales and Marketing at the Cuisinart Golf Resort and Spa. And obviously with a name like that, they must have some good food going on there as well. And a brand new golf course, actually, that they've acquired recently, a Greg Norman design, so we'll find out about that as well. So we got a lot to cover tonight, and we're not going to waste any time doing it. And, of course, we'll also have a great golf tip for you, and we may sneak in one of Dan's deals, too. We'll see if we've got some time for that. But the first thing I would like to do, which I always do at this time, is introduce you to my buddy, my co-host, and that would be none other than Jess Frank. And he's that guy with that beautiful swing. He's a PGA teaching professional and owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club right here in Boca Raton. And Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis because he believes that every lesson and every swing is different. Just likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, those short shots that are taught on the golf course, and that instills plenty of confidence in you. Some of you might know him from his work at area country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Laga, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach. He has a passion for the game because if you haven't noticed, it can be challenging, but Jess makes it easy for you to learn and excel. How you doing, Jess?
I am excellent, Dan. Good evening to you, and good evening to all of our listeners around South Florida and all over the world.
Yeah, we've got people listening everywhere. Of course, they listen online. They listen to iRadio, iHeartRadio, HD Radio. You know,
they're
they're listening. They're everywhere. We hear from them every once in a while. Usually nice things, but not always.
We get some communication through our Facebook page.
We do. And as a matter of fact, Rocco Giannetti, he was our winner from our Thanks giveaway.
Perfect. There we go. Look at that.
And he is, I'm shipping it to him in Philadelphia.
Oh,
is where he is, actually.
Well, I'll have to fly down for the golf lesson then.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, I don't know about that. He's had been living, he had mentioned in Oregon, I think Portland or something, and recently relocated temporarily to Philadelphia, so we got to ship it to him there.
Very cool.
So we do have listeners that are listening in everywhere.
That's right.
And that's why we have to give out free tips every once in a while, because it's not easy for them to come down here and get a lesson with you sometimes. You know?
Yes, no, we love giving out the value and the good tips.
We do.
Help people with their games.
We want to encourage people to come visit us. This is the best time of year to come to Florida.
Yes.
We don't want to discourage anybody from that. Today we had a few raindrops today, which is unusual for this time of year.
It scared off a couple of people, but I'll tell you what, we've been at Boca Dunes. We've been very busy. I mean, every day we've been seeing players. You know, we've been doing a lot of rounds, and the weather's been except for today, the weather's been really nice, and and I've been busy on the lesson tee, helping that golfer improve his game a little bit. So it's been a good. Good couple of weeks, good start to the season. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season here.
I don't play as often as I would wish I could play, and everybody says that, and so I may be playing once or twice or 3 times a month.
Well, that's not bad.
I can't imagine the folks that live like where you used to live up in Illinois,
and
having to go 3, 4, 5 months and not even take a swing outside.
Growing up in Chicago, right outside the city. We had domes in the wintertime, so we went and hit in domes, and there's also outdoor heated ranges too. So it's pretty cool.
So if it's an outdoor heated range, obviously just where you're hitting the ball, it's
just
so you're
your
hitting
station.
into like banks of snow or
exactly.
something.
It's like a space heater, coming down from up top, and so you got your winter hat on, and you're swinging, hitting balls there off a mat with the heater on you. So it's not that bad actually.
Well, I mean, I remember
it's actually kind of fun.
Back when I lived in New York, and I was not as avid a golfer as I am now. I maybe would play once or twice a year back then, and because I didn't belong to a private club and it wasn't easy to play at public courses, but there were folks that you saw playing in the snow. I mean, some people just, they so
can't get away.
They can't stop.
I know.
But to all of those people, come to Florida this time of year because it is beautiful.
Visit for a little while, absolutely.
Yeah, and they could come visit you and they can get a lesson, and just to entice them a little bit, you got a little something for them, right?
I actually, this is a great way to work on your golf swing, and it's really, really good for developing a powerful shot, because this drill allows you to work your entire body into the golf shot without, thinking about anything. And so what it is that if you have like a driving range bucket, something like that, you put it in between your hands, you take your golf setup, and what you're going to do if you're a right-handed golfer, you are going to swing your arms and rotate your hands, and like you're going to dump, if you had golf balls or water in your bucket, you're going to dump the water or golf balls almost over your right shoulder. And so what that does is that makes you rotate your forearms, it makes you hinge your wrists properly, and so from there, what it does, it also puts your golf club right on plane. And so from there, what you're going to do, it also gives you a really good turn. and a really good pivot. So it does a ton of things without you thinking about it. So from there, what happens is that your back's turned to the target, and you can, when you unwind, it basically, the bottom of the bucket is going to feel like it's going to head towards the ball a little bit. And then from there, you're going to throw the water, feel like you're going to dump the water back over your left shoulder. Mm-hmm. So it's going to go, you're going to dump the water over your right shoulder, then you're going to come back down in the ball, and then dump the water over your left shoulder. And this is an excellent drill for anybody who wants to improve their consistency, their ball striking, their power, just because a lot of golfers just don't understand how effective they can be and efficient they can be just by educating their hands and forearms in the golf swing. And by doing this, it sets you up on playing a lot easier. Everybody says, well, you want to have a big shoulder turn. Well, it's not always right. And if you make a huge shoulder turn, you're going to turn way too far off the golf ball, and it's going to be difficult for you to come back. It's really the only thing that you hold on to the golf club with are your hands. And so if you can have educated hands in your back swing and in your down swing and your through swing, I mean, you don't have to have a lot of body turn, because it turns you by swinging the club correctly, by swinging the shaft correctly, by understanding where the shaft, how it travels through the air, and how it travels around your body. You can be really efficient, and doing the bucket drill does all that stuff for you, and it's pretty cool, and it works really, really well.
Now, when you told me that we had this bucket drill, I was wondering if you hit a really bad shot, you put the bucket over your head because you're embarrassed.
Exactly. You can use that as your, getting to move away from your friends or something, or hide yourself after you hit a bad shot. But if you use the bucket drill, you're going to hit a lot less bad shots. So that's very, very important to understand. So
okay, well, there's the pearl of wisdom for today, the free tip.
It's a good one.
And I think we have a couple of more minutes before our first break, so maybe we should try and sneak in a couple of my deals, because we have so many guests today. I don't know if we'll have a chance.
Sure,
want to try and do that?
Absolutely.
So let's see what Dan's deals, what he's got today, and of course. Well, I was searching for some really interesting stuff, and I've got some stuff here that's just it'll really. Well, you know what? Actually, let's talk about this instead, because usually we do golf more up in the beginning of the show. Let's talk a little bit of golf travel, or golf travel for me and you at least.
That sounds good.
I don't know if you've had an opportunity yet, but the PGA Merchandise Show is just around the corner.
Yep.
And I registered already.
Yep,
I made my
too.
plans, and I'm staying up there, probably too far away. You like to stay closer, I know. We're going to be at Orange Lake again this year, which is near Disney or whatever. But in reading some of the stuff that's available for folks like you, PGA teaching pros, they do have a lot of training and some very famous people that come up there, some of the top 100 instructors. And I noticed some names that I recognize, people that I worked with back when I had For Florida Magazine.
Right.
For instance, Dr. Jim Suddy, he wrote several articles for me back in the day.
Sure.
So he's still there. Mike Malaska is going to be also doing some stuff there. So from your perspective, when you go to the PGA Merchandise Show, as a PGA teaching professional, what is it that you're looking for when you go up there?
Well, there's a couple things that I look for when I go to the PGA show. One is it's a great opportunity to network. Number one, I mean, you're gonna meet people from all over the world who have not only the people who are displaying products, but the people who are just walking the show floor. And it's really, if you keep your eyes and ears open. I was sitting next to a guy having lunch, and we just started talking, and he was actually an owner of a golf course up in I think it was Minnesota, and he was looking for a pro, and he was asking me questions about it. So there's job opportunities for pros when they go to the PGA show, as long as they keep their eyes and ears open. Another thing is the new products coming out. I love looking at the teaching aids. I love looking at the fitness products. So that's really cool. The clothing's kind of neat, but it's neither here nor there.
But that's for the people that don't take lessons with you, because if you can't play well, at least you can look well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the educational part of the PGA Merchandise Show is unbelievable. They've combined now the PGA Teaching Summit the week of the PGA Merchandise Show, and this year they have an unbelievable panel of just wonderful golf instructors who are passionate about the game, passionate about helping people, and that's what I love. I mean, I really do, and it's any time you can learn from somebody who has had success over 20, 30, 40 years in the industry of helping people play better golf. They're good, and they're great communicators, and they know what they're doing. So any chance you get to learn from somebody like that is definitely worthwhile. So I hopefully will be
So you're
attending.
looking forward to this,
Yes,
huh?
absolutely.
I mean, is it like the best time of the year?
It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. I love it because I have a passion to teach. I have a passion to help people. I'm enthusiastic about, it makes me feel good when I can help somebody hit the ball better and they can play better. It just makes me feel good. So I like it, and it's fun.
And when you feel good and you're happy, then I'm happy.
That's right. When you're happy, I'm happy, and that's what it's all about.
All right, and for all those other people that can't go, they're going to have to listen to us, because this is coming up in January, and we'll of course have plenty of information. We'll report. We'll make everything.
What I learn, they can come take a golf lesson, and I can transfer on to them. Exactly.
There you go. All right. Well, I know this is a mistake because we don't eat, or at least I don't eat dinner until after the show.
Right.
And the worst thing that I could possibly do is hear about a truffle and Prunado. I've never even drank Prunado wine. I don't know what that is, so we're going to have to find out about it. But I have a funny feeling that this meal is just going to get us just going here. We're going to be starving by the time we're done hearing about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with Chef Larry LaValle, and he's the head chef at 3800 Ocean at the Singer Island Marriott. We're going to find out about this great event that's coming up next week, and maybe get a few tips for the holidays, a recipe, or a little something extra, because just getting a golf tip from you is just not enough for our listeners. They got to have more. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment, so stay tuned.
Get out old Dan's records. Get out old Dan's records. We will dance the whole night long. It's fun to play the old time songs.
And we are back, and it's time for a quick message from one of our favorite sponsors. I'll let you have the honors.
Absolutely, and Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club is a great place to play, located in Boca Raton with a par 72 championship course and a par 3 executive course. Something for all skill levels. There's also a lighted driving range with practice areas and a snack shop open till 10 p.m. It's a great place to host a charity event or golf outing with a full-service catering facility with all banquet rooms overlooking the golf course. It's a perfect place for weddings, bar mitzvahs, anniversary parties, and any other catered event you may need. If you're looking to get into the game of golf, there's several teaching pros available, and it's also the home of the Jeff Frank Golf Academy. Their friendly staff invites you to come see for yourself. Call the Pro Shop at 561-451-1600, extension 102 for more information and tee times. You can visit their website at bocadunes.com. That's bocadunes.com.
And I think what we're going to do is, without any further ado, we've got our guest teed up. So I'd like to, again, not only have me be hungry, hopefully anybody who's listening is going to get as hungry as we are. And we're going to find out about this incredible event and maybe get a few tips as well from our next guest. And he is the head chef at 3800, which is a beautiful restaurant, so I'm told. I haven't been there yet, but I do need to go there. I have been at the Marriott. It's a beautiful property over there on Singer Island. And we invite everybody to come down, not only for this event, but to stay there, because I'm sure all the meals are good. But this is something that's just extra special. So to find out from the guy who knows, the guy who's cooking it for you, I'd like to introduce Larry LaValle. Larry, are you with us?
Well, good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us. So, without too much further ado, I just wanted to quickly find out just a little bit more about you, since everybody's putting their trust in you, who's going to be coming out for this wonderful evening that you're planning. Tell us a little bit about maybe your background and what it is that you've been doing and why you're cooking this meal. I mean, what is it about being a chef that you like so much?
Okay, well, I mean, I've always been passionate about food. I was lucky enough to have a mother who was Italian, and I grew up in a household where food was extremely important. It was good food or no food. So, Mom was always cooking for the holidays and always entertaining, and just a phenomenal cook. So, later on, after high school, I decided to go to the Culinary Institute in Hyde Park, New York,
Nice.
and pursue my chef career. And very, very exciting, from that point on. I was lucky enough to work in some of the best restaurants in New York City, spent some time over in France in Chambéry working under a French master chef. And then when I came to South Florida, I got the opportunity to work with celebrity chef Mark Militello, who is a mentor of mine, and I worked with him as the executive chef of Mark's in South Beach for years. And since then, kind of settled and made my home at the Palm Beach Marriott in Singer Island. And we opened 3800 Ocean Restaurant in 2010, December of 2010. And it was very exciting. It was a new concept for the hotel, very exciting for the hotel to be doing this type of food. And we're taking it to a new level. So, as a chef, it's just about having a passion for good ingredients, having a passion for great food. And what better way to celebrate than right now, us being in truffle season, celebrating with, Piedmont Italian white truffles. It doesn't get much better than that.
Hey, did you hear about that auction that's taking place tomorrow with the truffle?
I did. And, it's funny because when I sent out a little letter internally to a lot of my concierge and a lot of people in the industry, I brought up the $160,000 white truffle that had sold back in 2006, which was one of the largest ever to sell. And it's pretty amazing how much white truffle can sell for.
Yeah, they're saying that this one, which is going to be auctioned off at Sotheby's, might go for as much as $1 million for one truffle that weighs a little over 4 pounds.
It's pretty big.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So again, hopefully before we're done with the segment, you could give us a little recipe or a tip or something for the holidays, but I want to make sure that we have enough time to properly cover this wonderful event that you're planning, which is a week from tonight at 7 p.m. over at your wonderful restaurant there. And why don't you explain a little bit about what you have in store for the folks that are going to come?
Well, what I did was I created a menu entirely around the truffle. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be highlighting the truffle one way or another in every course, from past hors d'oeuvres throughout a whole 5-course tasting menu. And we'll be shaving the white truffle tableside, and believe me, by the time you're done, you'll have plenty of truffle in you. And it's one of those things where it just adds such a nice touch to every sort of dish that you're putting together. So all the different types of foods that I'm doing it with, it will complement. And then, obviously, connecting it back to its region of Italy, I paired it with Pronotto wines, which are featured by Marchesi Antinori. So I'm very excited to be featuring these wines along with it because, that's their original environment, and that's where this all comes from. So kind of tying it back to those roots, and it just, the menu just ties all in together from there. So, we've got a wonderful truffle-stuffed New England day goat scallop. I'm going to do a nice truffle-studded foie gras. I'm going to do a truffle heirloom tomato salad. I'm going to do a really nice roulade of rabbit with white Alba truffle risotto. I'm going to do a roasted rack and a braised leg of domestic lamb with shaved white truffle. And I'm also going to do a marinade with the truffle. And then my pastry chef's going to do a wonderful twist on a modern truffle. So that'll be kind of a little surprise for everyone because I left that kind of open for interpretation, because you have that classic tartufo, which is kind of the ice cream truffle. You have little chocolate truffle. So we're going to do a play on all of that and just really blow everyone away.
I'm looking at the menu. I have it in front of me now, and of course, all that sounds wonderful. But before that, you also have a reception with some hors d'oeuvres that sound pretty cool, too. I could have made a meal just on that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to do some crispy oysters with truffled creme fraiche. I've got a truffle and artichoke arancini, which are little risotto balls that we fry up crispy with an arugula pesto. And then we're going to do little stuffed tartlets with truffle ricotta, some tomato jam, and some toffee pistachio.
Wow. I knew we shouldn't be listening to this. We're right there.
How come you're not cooking in the studio? That's right,
the only thing that's going to stop us from being there is we'll be doing a show next week when you're doing all this. So
we can have leftovers.
Yeah, we'll save you some. Don't worry.
I hope so. But now tell me a little bit about the wine as well, because obviously Italian wines are interesting, different, and we know all about California wines and French wines and whatnot, but maybe not everybody is quite as familiar with these Italian wines. What What's so special about them? What kinds of wines are you going to be pairing with this?
Well, I mean, all the wines are going to be from, they're going to be a Pronotto, and they're from the Piedmont region. So obviously, for me it was very important. We've got a couple of whites that we're going to start with, and then we're going to go right into the reds. And it features, Nebbiolo, Barbaresco, Barolo, and then we're going to finish with a Moscato. Pronotto is a very classic region. So, that area, there's a lot of history with wine and winemaking. So it, as well as they always say that, a great truffle season is not a great wine season. This year, I think we had a good balance of both. So I'm excited that we have some beautiful, nice, large white truffle coming in, and the wines that we're going to be featuring are for some really good vintages of Pronotto. So, I reached out to Marchesi Antinori, who's one of the largest winemakers in Italy, and said, I really like to feature your wine because I really think it makes sense. And, of course, they were very excited. So they're sending one of their representatives, too, who's going to get an opportunity to explain the wines in depth, talk about the flavors, the contrast, the tastes, and then, hey, listen, we're going to start with a 3-ounce taste, but if you need a little bit more, we're going to pour a little bit more, and we're going to have fun with it.
So in all, what is this? Five courses? Is that what you'll be serving, plus the hors d'oeuvres, or 4 courses?
It's actually, I call it a 5-course because to me the scallop is an amuse-bouche, but it's actually 6 courses plus hors d'oeuvres. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as far as a wine dinner, I mean, like I said, I've heard of 4, I've heard of 5. This is a little bit more than anything I've heard of. So they're really, I can't compare it to any of the similar types of events that I've heard about. It sounds quite unique. Now, granted, this.
So. And for me, it kind of brings me back to my roots when I was in Europe. And for 5 or 7 courses was nothing. You sit down and they want you to do a 15-course tasting or a 17-course tasting, and you're there from 6 o'clock till midnight. And by the time midnight rolls around, you're waving the white flag, and you're like, okay, man, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, you better be real hungry for this night. So now, what I was going to say is that it is a little pricey, but not when you think about the fact that you got white truffles, all these courses, the hors d'oeuvres. It's $165 per person, plus tax and gratuity, which, I mean.
And that does include the wine, and that also includes, when you think about white truffle. Fresh white truffle costs about $1,500 a pound, roughly.
Right.
So when you walk around in most restaurants, they'll come around with a truffle slicer, and they'll give you a few slices for $50 or $60.
So, so what I'm saying is
we're going to be shaving on every single course, and, I wanted to be generous about it. The one thing I don't want to do is have a truffle dinner and then be cheap about the truffle.
Right. No, so I mean, what I'm saying is this is a great value when you talk about the quality of food, the quantity of food, and the wine. This is a wonderful value. So you do need a reservation if anybody would like to attend. Again, it's a week from tonight, so next Friday night, December 12th at 7 p.m. on Singer Island at 3800 Ocean at the Singer Island Marriott or Palm Beach Marriott. For reservations, you could call 561-340-1795. That's 561-340-1795. We still have a couple of minutes, and I had asked if you could either give us a tip or for the holidays for the kitchen, or a recipe for the holidays, or just a little tidbit, because we love for our listeners to take away something special. So what do you got for us?
Okay, well, I got a couple nice things. I mean, one of the things that, my wife and my family will not go without on the holidays is my sage and brioche bread pudding. It's kind of a nice twist on a stuffing. It uses either brioche or challah bread. And what I do is I do just a nice dice of that, and then I line my casserole dish with butter, and then I make a basic custard. So instead of doing a sweet custard, I do a savory custard. So it'll be about 2 cups of cream, 2 cups of chicken stock. Then I put in some nice chopped herbs, sage, parsley, thyme, rosemary, and a little bit of shallots. Bring that up in a saucepan, and then I temper the eggs into it, slowly kind of adding to my scrambled eggs a little bit of the hot cream. And then once you get that all mixed together, I just pour it over the bread, let it soak it all up, cover it with some aluminum foil, bake it in the oven at 325 for about 30 minutes. it'll knock your socks off.
Wow, I'm a fan of bread pudding, so I mean, anything like that just gets to me, as well as any custard. So, all right, and keep in mind, if anybody isn't writing this down, it does get recorded, and we have it on our YouTube channel, so you could go back and get the recipe that way. We'll remind everybody on our Facebook page. You got one more thing for us?
Absolutely. I've got some safety tips. Use a sharp knife, please. I've seen so many accidents in the kitchen where people use a dull knife and they cut themselves. The other one is prep ahead of time so you're not in a rush.